Okay, let us get started. Good morning. I welcome you all to the webinar from Mobodexter. So this webinar is about power your IoT with Paasmer, and this is second in the series. I am Sridhar Krishnan. I'm a senior engineering manager. Um, Let me give a short introduction about myself. Um, I have about 20 plus years of experience in IT industry, and I have worked in HP for 11 years. I played different roles like engineering management, uh, program management, and I have played both management and technical roles. I have played technical architect roles also. And I have expertise in cloud, servers, printer, things like that. And before HP, I worked in Canon and Tektronix. And now I'm really excited to be part of Mobodexter and IoT domain. And I have my colleague will be joining to present this webinar shortly. Srinidhi Murthy, he is our solution architect. He is the architect of Paasmer platform. He has 14 years of IT experience, and he worked in Infosys, Norton, Avaya before he joined Mobodexter. He has expertise in IoT, RTOS, networking, system architecture, and system software. That's brief introduction about myself and my colleague. And let me go through the agenda. The main agenda of this webinar is we would like to show a POC, proof of concept, of a use case, IoT use case for a smart greenhouse. So that is the main agenda of this webinar. And we would like to start with explaining, giving you an introduction about Paasmer architecture and software stack, and how you can use Paasmer to power your IoT. We'd like to give some examples and use cases, and we will be getting into the details of the demo, and we will have a recorded video of a POC we'd like to play, and we'll be ending this with Paasmer benefits and value addition. We can have question and answer at the end of this presentation. With this, before I talk about Paasmer, I would like to touch upon few basic things like what is IoT and what is IoT platform. This, as I said, this is second in the series, webinar series, and series 1, all the basics of IoT are covered in detail. So I just wanted to talk brief about IoT and IoT platform. So what is IoT? IoT is Internet of Things. Thing is a physical object, a digital representation of a physical object. And once the physical object is represented in digital format, then it has capability to interact with each other and connect these things with internet. And the data what we get from things can be sent to internet, and we can develop many different applications based on this data. That is about Internet of Things. So with that, I would like to talk about what is IoT platform. So what you see here is what Wikipedia states. And so IoT platform is nothing but it's a framework. It provides support to develop, implement, and manage IoT solutions. So if you look at this definition, an IoT platform supports the interaction between things, and you can develop complex structure like distributed computing, and you can develop distributed applications. So IoT platform as such can support many different features, and it varies between companies. And the Paasmer from Mobodexter is IoT platform as a service. And let's look at what Paasmer can offer you. Paasmer provides all components to develop, implement, and manage IoT solutions. So if you look at IoT solutions, we have cloud side and edge side. Edge side is like things and gateway, and whatever you develop in cloud side, it is cloud-centric IoT solutions. So Paasmer provides a balanced support. The usage of edge and cloud IoT components to build IoT solutions. So you can develop flexible, scalable, secure, and cost-effective IoT solutions using Paasmer platform. And it also supports to leverage existing technology investments of your clients. If a client has already implemented in technology, if it is old technology, we can still support that with the customized application using our platform. And with that, I'd like to talk about cloud-centric solutions using Paasmer, what kind of advantages it can give. If you look at this diagram, you can see different components in IoT solution. You have things gateway, you have things gateway, cloud, and on-premises. So if you look at IoT solutions, you have user interface, application, data, and analytics. So basically, where compute exists is something it decide whether it is cloud-centric or edge-centric. So if you, in this diagram, if you look at it, most of the compute happens in cloud. So Paasmer supports to develop a cloud-centric IoT solution. The main advantage is like the technical and cost benefit of cloud, and it offloads computing resources from the thing and places it onto the cloud. And it is well suited to deliver centralized network level smartness. And only the disadvantage is like it requires a persistent connection to the internet. And also, if the data is a significant amount of data, if it is being sent to cloud, then communication cost will be expensive. And once the data is shared in cloud, then we need to handle security and privacy issues that will add on additional costs. So that's about cloud-centric Paasmer architecture. And Paasmer can support gateway-centric IoT solution also. If you look at the diagram here, you can see the most of the compute happens in gateway side. Gateway is nothing but a device sitting in between things and the internet. The gateway Actually, gateway removes the need for cost and complexity to exist on things. So thing can be really thin. You can remove all the computing from thing and place it on to gateway. So gateway can act as a smarter portals to the internet. So a capable gateway can act as the connector hub for many things that may use different data standards and wireless protocols. So you may have different things in your environment, and you need to have different kinds of protocol standard in the communication protocols, right? So uh, you can add all the capability in gateway to connect with any kind of things and any kind of machines to get data and control, right? And so gateway-centric architecture is very convenient for retrofitting machines, so they become IoT connected, right? So only disadvantage is like it requires an extra tire to communicate with the internet. So that's about gateway-centric uh, gateway-centric IoT applications using Paasmer. And with that, I would like to talk about how to utilize Paasmer in your IoT. So in Paasmer, you have trial version. If you have, whatever use case you have, IoT use case you have, you can use the trial version of Paasmer to develop a proof of concept. The one what we have developed for greenhouse, uh, what we are going to show you now in shortly. So you can leverage our consulting services, professional services to develop your POC. And once the POC is developed and tested, and then you can go for mass IoT deployment. And with this, to continue talk about Paasmer SDK and POC, I would like to invite our architect, Srinidhi. Let me hand over to Srinidhi. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridhar. Good morning, everybody. My name is Srinidhi Murthy. I work as the technical architect or the solutions architect at Mobodexter. I have over 14 years of experience in various IT fields like networking, router software, IoT, systems architecture, system software. I worked in various companies like Infosys, Nortel, Via before joining Mobodexter. So let's get quickly started upon the Paasmer SDK related features that Mobodexter is proud to present to you. Now, the Paasmer SDK comprises of a trial version of our Misty software. Misty software is our Edge innovation and is deployable on Edge hardware like single board computers and specific hardware like Node MCU or ESP8266 or the CC3200 from Texas Instruments. Now, Paasmer SDK allows you the choice of connecting sensors to this edge hardware, either the single board computers or the specific hardware, either with the GPIO ports with this wired, or you can connect to them wirelessly also. And running the scripts provided in Misty provides you the ability to connect the sensor data to the Paasmer cloud. All you need to do is have a registered account in developers.paasmer.co, and you log in with the same account, and you to see your data from your sensors on your dashboard. Now it's as simple as that. Now the SDKs that we provide are for we have three flavors of them. We have the ESP SDK, which is for Node MCU or Adafruit Huza. We have the SBC SDK, which is for single board computers running Linux. This is a SDK written in C. We have an SDK written in Python also, that is for single board computers running Linux. Currently, this version of SDK is been tested on Raspberry Pi 3 running Jessie, but we'll add support for more flavors of Linux as well as more hardware very sure in the near future. Moving on. Okay, so we have the Paasmer SDK overview that is being presented here. So if you look at the top right, we see the Paasmer developer login. The left contains the Paasmer IoT platform or the Paasmer cloud. At the bottom left, we have the edge hardware, and we have the sensors in the bottom right. Now, our Misty OS sits on the edge hardware. Now, the Misty OS has the ability to pull data from the sensors and push them to the Paasmer IoT platform. Now, the Paasmer IoT platform has the ability to present data to the user using the developer login. Once the user logs on to his account, he is able to see the sensor data from his devices. Now, we also provide the ability to control actuators based on the sensor data received. Now, we can actually send this control information back to the Paasmer IoT platform from the developer login, which is in turn pushed to the edge hardware, where the sensors are actually, actuators are actually performing the necessary action as described by the control feed. Now, this provides a very simple or very basic overview of Paasmer SDK. Now, we have the ability to add more and more features as required by the user. We also have the ability to add automation as and when required. Now, what we have explained here is a fairly simple version of the SDK, where we talk about just getting sensor data and controlling some actuators. Now, Paasmer IoT platform is much more than that, and that can be utilized as needed. Moving on to the next slide. So some of the use cases of Paasmer have been explained here. Let's talk about each one in a few sentences or in a short amount of time. We talk about Paasmer, using Paasmer in retail. What do you talk about? When you talk about retail, we have quite a few things that can come into play. One of the use cases that we have done is a demand-aware warehouse, where we know what are the items that are in demand, and using sensors we know what items are being consumed by the consumers at a higher rate, and we take measures to keep them in stock, either locally, or we push the messages to the producers to send those items and keep them in stock based on the demand that is being seen as a pattern. This is one of the next generation warehouses that we can talk about. We talk about a connected consumer kind of a scenario, where we have a situation like you are near your favorite shoe store, and you get an SMS or a message or a notification on your mobile or your handheld device saying that, okay, there is a 50% off on Nike shoes, based on just the proximity to the store. This is called as a connected consumer approach that we have, where is one of the use cases of Paasmer in retail. We also have a smart store, which is more of a checkout less or a queue less checkout kind of a scenario, where the devices, where the sensors simply, you pass through a guardrail which has sensors built in, and which actually tells what all items have been purchased by the consumer and is charged to his credit card or his bank account. Moving on, we have an application of drones, and this one in agriculture. Now, what is a drone? A drone is a unmanned aerial vehicle, which is fairly simple to operate and which is fairly small, and it is fairly inexpensive also. Now, what do drones provide in agriculture is a vast variety of advantages. We talk about having various cameras or lenses attached to these drones to take up various pictures of the land in question, to create a heat map or a disease map of the plot in question. You can actually do row counting for determining the number of plants. You can do spraying of pesticides on a specific area. You can do a lot of things that were actually had to be done with manual labor or had to be done with expensive aeroplanes, having expensive aeroplanes and things like that. You can also use drones to measure air pollution using Paasmer. The drones can be attached with various sensors that can actually detect the various hazardous gases in a parts per billion or a parts per billion scale, and we can fly them out to industrial areas or city centers in the night or during peak traffic hours to determine how much of air pollution is being generated, or and the concerned data can be passed on to the authorities. Now, talking about online diesel generator monitoring. Now, this is one of the use cases that we had done. Uh, we say diesel generator monitoring is just one part of it. It's more of field device monitoring, where we actually monitor devices in the field to know what their state is. They can be operated remotely. Preventive maintenance and predictive maintenance can be carried upon on them. So these things are some of the advantages of online field device monitoring. A scenario would be you have a typical remote location where you have a diesel generator which is powering a mobile tower. Sending personnel there is always a costly affair. Now imagine the scenario of you being able to do predictive maintenance and preventive maintenance on that, applying patches or turning on off the diesel generator from a remote location, which is an added boon, and it saves a lot of money. We have a voice command system which is similar to the Amazon Echo or the Google Home automation device, where you simply give voice commands to book taxis, know the weather, ask general questions, book, order pizza, or it can be used in assisted living kind of scenarios where you can have elderly folks lead a better quality life and things like that. Now the important thing is the smart greenhouse approach. The smart greenhouse is more critical to the present scenario because in an urban environment we have a lot of rooftop greenhouses that are popping up due to urban agriculture and smart agriculture that is being used. We shall look at the smart greenhouse concept in detail. Before that, we would just like to talk about what is smart farming and intelligent farming or precision farming. Moving on to the next slide. Here we just have some basic information about what is agriculture and how agriculture can be transformed using Paasmer. Now, the agricultural sector has an enormous challenge. So the current population of the world is about 7 billion. That is set to grow to about 9 to 10 billion by 2050. So in order for this additional population to be fed, we need to increase our food production by almost 70%. This is despite the fact that we are having limited availability of agriculturable land, lesser fresh water each year, bad weather, insects, pests, and whatnot. Now, this has led to the advent of smart farms and future farms, where we are using IoT and sensors to actually make intelligent choices and get better yield from farms. Now, we have various things like survey drones or industry or agricultural drones as we talked about. We have agri-bots, which are actually specifically for for harvesting crops or spraying fertilizers and things like that. Smart tractors, which are actually GPS controllable, and you can actually plan for preventive and predictive maintenance and things like that. So this entire approach is called as precision farming or smart farming. Now, this is one of the key areas where Paasmer will be able to transform agriculture. Moving on to the next slide. So we have the smart greenhouse use case. Now, a typical smart greenhouse would have various sensors. Typical would be a soil sensor, a soil moisture sensor, an ultrasonic sensor for the tanks, a temperature sensor for determining the ambient temperature, and a lot of other sensors like a humidity sensor, an open close sensor, a valve sensor, a solenoid, and things like that. And you have a lot of actuators like pump motors for sprinklers, solenoid valves, humidifier, a fan perhaps, or something to open the windows and doors to let in more fresh air and things like that. Now, in our scenario, what we have done is we have actually taken the sensors and connected to them via wires to a Raspberry Pi, or we can be connected to a Node MC or Adafruit also. And we have a human interface application, which is either a web UI or a mobile application, or it can be done using voice control using a voice command system like Amazon Echo. So in our scenario, what we have done is we have actually connected all these things to a Raspberry Pi, and we are using the Paasmer developer login dashboard to control the various actuators. So right now we have a demonstration of the use case. So let me just play the video. There might be a bit of lag, and it is preferable to use headphones to get a clear voice.
I welcome you all for a smart greenhouse POC demonstration using Paasmer platform. We have created this POC setup to show you how Paasmer platform can be used to control and manage a greenhouse. In this POC, we have used a temperature sensor, a water level sensor, and soil moisture sensor. The entire setup is connected to Paasmer platform. We can get data from sensors and control actuators from the Paasmer platform. The Paasmer platform and the sensors are connected through a Raspberry Pi device. We have used Raspberry Pi device for this purpose. And in this POC setup, you can see, we have a pump motor to pump water from sump to water tank. This can be controlled based on the water level sensor. We have another motor for water sprinkler to water the plants. This can be controlled based on the soil moisture sensor. As you can see in the Paasmer platform, the sensor data are presented in bar chart graph, and the actuators can be controlled using these controls. Here is the water level sensor data. It shows the distance between the sensor and water in the tank. Based on this, we can actually control this actuator to switch on the pump motor. So let me go ahead and switch on this, and then now you can see the water is flowing into the tank. The sump motor is on. The water is flowing into the tank now. So we have actually controlled this motor based on the water level sensor data. So now you can switch off this, and the motor is switched off. You can see the water flow is stopped now. Let's move on to next sensor, soil moisture sensor. Using this sensor, we can control the sprinkler. The idea is when the soil is totally dry, we can water the plant. So in Paasmer platform, you can see the data of soil moisture sensor. It is showing 0, and it means the soil is dry. Now we can go ahead and switch on the sprinkler actuator, and now it is switched on. You can see the sprinkler motor is on, and it is sprinkling the water, and water is flowing into the plant. Now I'm going to show you how the soil moisture sensor show you the data when it is in wet soil, and I'm going to move this sensor to wet soil for the demo purpose, and then this should show the actual value as 1 in the Paasmer platform. You can see now the value is changed in the platform. So using this, we can actually control the actuators. And let's move on to next sensor, temperature sensor. So we also have this sensor. You can see the data coming from sensor data is shown in the Paasmer platform. This is the temperature. So based on this temperature, you can have another control to control. Basically, in a greenhouse setup, based on the temperature, the temperature goes up, goes beyond a particular value. We can have control to control a window, open a window to bring the temperature to a particular level. That's it about the POC setup. Like we have demonstrated how you can develop an IoT solution to control and manage a small greenhouse using our Paasmer. What we have showed all manual controls, we have shown only to show you the capability of Paasmer, how you can collect data and control devices from the platform. All this can be very much automated using the platform. Hope you have enjoyed this demo. Thanks for watching.
Now, that was a demonstration of the smart greenhouse use case. We hope you are able to have a look at the video and understand how the Paasmer SDK and the developer login and the trial version can be used to create proof of concepts of the IoT deployments that you have. Moving on to the next slide. We are open for questions, any questions that the users may have. We are actually open via chat.
Thank you, Srinidhi. I think if we don't have any questions here, we can conclude here. I hope you have the webinar is very useful, and we'd like to share the resources. These are the resources. You can go through this, and then we have plenty of materials there. You can get in touch with us if you want to use the trial version of Paasmer to develop any of your POC. That's about it in this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining us.